Well, experts say the Lebanese economy has spiraled into its worst crisis since the civil war, which ended in 1990. Government debt amounts to around 150% of annual GDP, the third highest in the world, and the cost of borrowing has soared. The two-year bond yield jumping to more than 30%. Now, the Lebanese pound's value is pegged to the dollar, but the government could come under pressure to devalue it. We've got Nasser Saidi, served as Lebanon's Minister of Economy and Trade, and was also the Vice Governor of the Central Bank. He joins me now from Dubai. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us. Really good to have you on the show. Looking at these debt levels, looking at the fact that you take this view to close banks, it creates panic. And the central bank governor earlier this week told CNN we're days away from economic collapse. Are these the right messages to be sending at this time when the economy is on the brink?
Well, the point right now is to regain confidence and trust, as Ben Wiedemann was talking. You need to send the right messages, and the central bank needs to extend liquidity to the banking system at this time. The closure of the banks over the past 2 weeks did not instill confidence, and that's why people will withdraw cash. There are now informal capital controls. There is a parallel market or a black market in foreign exchange. What needs to happen now is really confidence-building measures, in particular bringing in a new government that will correct the path we're on.
Yeah. So when you mention the black markets in terms of the currency, we always see this in economies that peg the dollar, peg their currency against the US dollar, because essentially it's not a real value in terms of what you're seeing on the ground. Should the Lebanese government take the pain now and just devalue instead of bringing down their foreign currency reserves, which puts the country in even more economic difficulty?
No, I don't think it's judicious to depeg now. What you need to do is undertake fiscal reform, structural reforms, and then you might reconsider the peg. If you just depeg now, it runs the risk that, for one, 40% of government debt is in foreign currency. The banks themselves have foreign currency obligations, as does the corporate sector. And that would mean the government itself would probably not be able to finance its interest and its foreign debt. So what you want to do is make the adjustment in other areas and then reconsider the peg.
Okay, Mr. Saidi, but you're talking about providing liquidity for the banks. Does the Lebanese government have money to be able to do that? And if it doesn't, where can it get it from?
No, this has to be done by the central bank. When you peg your currency to the dollar, as is the case in Lebanon, you have to use your international reserves. International reserves have been falling, but the central bank still does have the ability. However, that is limited in time, and I think now is the moment where you now want to start thinking about maybe an IMF program, a stabilization fund, a series of reform measures for Lebanon.